morning sun poured through the glass walls of Tokyo's tallest skyscraper. Himrai adjusted her suit and tightened her grip on the briefcase, feeling the familiar tension of a heart freshly broken. Divorce papers, betrayal, and late-night tears, she thought she had left it all behind. Across the lobby, a man watched. Calm, composed, and unsettlingly aware. Minato, a fellow professional, seemed ordinary, but something about his gaze hinted at secrets beneath the surface. Today, they were here for a company visitation, a glimpse into the future, where robots could think, move, and almost feel like humans. Machines designed to anticipate desires, mimic emotions, and blur the line between man and invention. Himrai's ex-husband, Takumi, wanted her back. Minato, well, he might want more than just her professional attention. And the robots might want something entirely unexpected. As the doors opened to the demonstration room, the air felt electric. Whirring gears, soft lights, the quiet hum of intelligence in motion. Himrai stepped forward, and in that instant, she realized, nothing about today would be ordinary. If someone new enters your life at your most vulnerable moment, would you trust them, or run? The morning sun reflected off the glass towers of Tokyo, painting streaks of gold across the bustling streets. Himrai adjusted her blazer and inhaled, tasting the crisp air of a city that never paused. Divorce, betrayal, and sleepless nights had hardened her, but curiosity pulled her forward. Across the lobby, a man leaned against the railing, calm and observant. Minato. His eyes followed her, not in judgment, but in quiet calculation. Something about him felt deliberate. Today, they were visiting a robotics company, one known for machines that could mimic human behavior with eerie precision. Himrai wondered, as she stepped through the revolving doors, which was more dangerous, a robot with human traits, or a man who seemed to read her every thought. If someone new appears in your life when you least expect it, would you trust them, or stay guarded? The room was silent, except for the soft hum of machines. A humanoid robot stood in the center, metallic limbs glinting under fluorescent lights. It poured tea flawlessly, carried boxes, and responded to human gestures with uncanny accuracy. Minato's voice cut through the quiet, "It's almost like it understands us." Himrai tilted her head, studying the robot. The movements were precise, almost elegant, but something in its mechanical gaze made her skin prickle. Could a machine really anticipate human emotion? As the robot lifted a cup to its lips, a shadow passed across the glass walls. Himrai's heart skipped a beat. She couldn't tell if it was the robot, or something, and someone else watching. Would you trust a machine that understands your feelings better than any person? Later, Himrai and Minato stepped into a small cafe tucked between two office buildings. Steam rose from their teacups, curling like quiet whispers. Himrai spoke cautiously, her tone polite but reserved. She shared a fraction of her past, a divorce, betrayal, and nights spent questioning if love could ever be trusted again. Minato listened, leaning slightly forward, eyes unwavering. There was empathy in his gaze, but Himrai couldn't shake the feeling that beneath it, he carried secrets of his own. The city pulsed outside the window, life moving faster than they could keep up. And in that quiet, fleeting moment, Himrai wondered, could she let anyone in again? Could you trust someone who seems perfect, or would you wait for the truth to reveal itself? The cafe phone buzzed, breaking the fragile calm. Himrai's ex-husband, Takumi, flashed on the screen. His voice was smooth, Persuasive, rehearsed. He wanted her back. He promised change. Himrai clenched her fist around the cup, remembering the betrayal, the nights he spent lying, the heartbreak she had endured alone. She had filed for divorce, but some scars never healed. Suspicion lingered, like smoke in the air. Takumi wasn't just calling, he was watching, waiting. And Himrai knew, deep down, that the danger in her life wasn't only in the machines, they were everywhere. If someone from your past tried to control your present, would you fight back, or hide? As the day ended, Himrai walked through the glowing streets of Tokyo with Minato by her side. Neon lights reflected in puddles from the morning rain, turning the city into a kaleidoscope of color. They discussed the robot, its advanced sensors, and the ethical questions it raised. Minato's voice was calm, precise, but Himrai noticed a flicker of something behind his eyes, something unreadable. She laughed softly at a joke he made, and for a second, the weight of betrayal lifted, replaced by curiosity, and perhaps, the first spark of trust. Yet, in the shadows, Takumi lingered, a ghost from her past, waiting for a mistake, a moment of weakness. And Himrai realized that trust would not come easily. Would you take a risk on someone new, knowing your past might catch up with you? Back in her small apartment, Himrai looked out over Tokyo's glittering skyline. The robots, the company, Minato, and her ex, they all swirled together in a storm of uncertainty. Could love be rebuilt from the ruins of betrayal? Could machines ever truly understand what humans feel? Tomorrow, the answers would begin to reveal themselves, and nothing would be as simple as it seemed. If your world suddenly included both love and danger, which would you follow first? The train glided through the countryside, leaving Tokyo's skyline behind. Himrai pressed her hand to the glass, watching cherry blossoms drift past. Minato sat across from her, quiet yet observant, as if he could read the subtle shifts in her mood. Kyoto awaited, temples, lantern-lit streets, and history that whispered of secrets long kept. Their business mission, to inspect robotics advancements, was a cover for something more delicate, the unspoken tension between them. Minato pointed to a temple gate, his voice soft, "Even machines can't replicate this serenity." Himrai laughed, but her mind flickered to Takumi, watching, scheming, a shadow in her happiness. Would you risk opening your heart when someone from your past is still watching? In the Osaka lab, the robots moved with fluid precision, eerily human. Himrai followed Minato through rows of machines, each one a mirror of intelligence. He explained, they can anticipate human behavior, learn from emotion, even simulate empathy. His words were calm, measured, but Himrai noticed a glint of something unspoken in his eyes. A robot's arm twitched unexpectedly, almost like a warning. Himrai froze, heart racing. Was it a malfunction, or a test? What if the machines you trust could think for themselves, and act on it? Night fell over Kyoto. Lanterns flickered along the streets, casting dancing shadows. Himrai and Minato walked side by side, their footsteps soft on the cobblestone. She spoke of her divorce, of nights she had cried herself to sleep, of the trust she had lost. Minato listened, but his presence was more than comfort, it was a question, could she believe again? For a moment, the world narrowed to the two of them, the glow of lanterns, and the whisper of cherry blossoms in the breeze. But even here, in the calm, a figure lurked, a shadow she couldn't see, Takumi, keeping score. Would you take comfort in someone new, even if danger lurked close behind? In Osaka's bustling night market, Himrai spotted him, Takumi, her ex-husband, moving like a predator among the crowd. She stiffened, but Minato's hand brushed hers, steady, protective. The robots in their recent inspection felt distant suddenly, replaced by a human threat. Takumi's presence reminded her that danger wasn't always mechanical. Minato's eyes met hers. He won't make this easy. The tension hung between them, thick and sharp, a silent challenge that neither robot nor human could predict. Would you confront your past, or let it control your future? Hokkaido was white, a silent expanse of snow. Himrai and Minato paused on a ridge overlooking the valley. Steam rose from their breath in the freezing air. Minato spoke quietly, almost a whisper, "Himrai, I want you to know," but before the words could complete, a shadow crossed the ridge. "Takumi." Himrai's pulse quickened. Minato tensed. In the silence, they realized the fragility of the moment, the beauty of trust, threatened by a lingering threat. Would you confess your feelings when danger is at your side, or wait for safety? Back in Tokyo, the lab hummed with mechanical life. The humanoid robots performed flawlessly, or so it seemed. One robot hesitated, arm jerking unnaturally. Lights flickered. Himrai and Minato exchanged a look. Something was wrong. The machine moved closer to the observation window, sensors scanning, as if aware of them. Minato's voice was calm, but his fingers flew over the control panel. "It's not a glitch," he said. "It's testing boundaries." Himrai felt a shiver, part fear, part awe. Could a machine truly challenge human intention? If a machine began to defy your expectations, how far would you trust it? Later, in a quiet Ueno park, cherry blossoms swirled in the wind. Himrai finally let herself laugh, a sound that felt foreign and new. Minato smiled, eyes soft but guarded. They shared stories, small confessions, a fragile trust forming in the spaces between words. Yet the shadows remained. Takumi's obsession, the unpredictability of machines, and the knowledge that the next step could change everything. The night pressed close, and Himrai wondered if love could survive in a world of secrets and artificial intelligence. Could you let someone in, knowing the world around you is unpredictable? The Tokyo lab was quiet, the kind of silence that precedes chaos. Humanoid robots moved in perfect synchrony, until one, larger, sleeker than the others, stopped. Its sensors flickered. Lights blinked erratically. Himrai's breath caught. "Something's wrong," she whispered. Minato's fingers danced across the control panel, muscles tense, eyes scanning every line of code. The robot's arms swung suddenly, narrowly missing a technician. Sparks flew, alarms screamed. The room became a battlefield of metal and electricity. Minato grabbed Himrai's hand. "Stay close," he said. And in that instant, the danger wasn't only mechanical, it was personal. If faced with sudden danger, would you trust your instincts, or someone else's? Through the chaos, another presence emerged, Takumi. His expression was calm, deceptively so, as he moved toward Himrai. "Himrai, come with me," he said, his voice a lure and a threat at once. Minato blocked him, stepping protectively in front. Sparks flew from the malfunctioning robot, painting the scene in flashes of danger and urgency. Himrai realized the truth. The threat wasn't only from the machines, it had always been human. Decisions had to be made. Hearts had to choose. Would you stand for love, even if the world around you was collapsing? Minato dove toward the control panel, overriding protocols, while Himrai guided panicked technicians to safety. The robot lurched, almost like it sensed their fear. Himrai's hand brushed Minato's as they worked in tandem. Sparks flew, the air crackled, and time seemed to stretch. In those seconds, Himrai realized something. Trust wasn't about certainty, it was about courage, and choosing someone despite the danger. Could you rely on someone when life itself depends on it? Takumi stood frozen, eyes wide, as Minato finally contained the rogue robot. Himrai stepped forward, voice steady. "I am not yours to control anymore," she said. "I choose my own path." Takumi faltered, the weight of betrayal finally reflected in his face. Minato reached for Himrai, offering calm, strength, and something else, hope. The machines hummed quietly now, obedient once more. But the emotional machinery, the human heart, had shifted irrevocably. If someone from your past begged for a second chance, would you forgive, or move forward? Under the soft glow of a Kyoto lantern-lit street, Himrai and Minato walked side by side. Snow from Hokkaido memories and cherry blossoms from Tokyo mingled in her mind, a montage of moments, fear, and laughter. Minato's voice was gentle. "You trusted me, even when it wasn't easy." Himrai smiled, the weight of betrayal lifted, replaced by something fragile and precious. "And I will, because this feels real." For the first time in months, the future felt like theirs to choose. A love born not just from comfort, but from courage, trust, and survival. Can love survive secrets, danger, and the ghosts of the past? The city lights reflected off Tokyo's glass towers. Robots moved quietly in their labs, obedient, yet intelligent enough to remind humans that the line between man and machine is thinner than ever. Himrai and Minato walked together, hearts aligned, yet aware of the world around them, complex, unpredictable, alive. And somewhere, in the shadows, the lingering question remained, in a world of love and machines, of trust and betrayal, what is truly predictable? Was it love, or just lust? And how would you know the difference?